So now we're going to be working through numbers 9 through 12. The directions here say that we are to determine if the following statement is always true, sometimes true, or never true. This one says the product of two rational numbers is equal to an irrational number. Well, think about it. 5 is rational and 8 is rational. And if we multiply them together, we get 40, which is rational. So far, this is not true. Can you think of any two rational numbers that multiply together that would give you something that results in an irrational number? You can't, which means that this is never true. Whenever we multiply two rational numbers together, we will get a rational number, because a rational times a rational will always equal a rational. All right, number 10. It says the sum of two irrational numbers is rational. Well, let's look. Let's try to do like the square root of, 2 plus the square root of 2. What does that give me? That gives me 2 square root of 2. So here is an irrational number plus an irrational number, and it gives me an irrational number. So far, this is not true. Can we think of any example where we can have two irrational numbers that we add together that it does result in a rational number? Well, watch this one. What if I did the square root of 2 plus the negative square root of 2? What does that give me? 0. 0 is rational. So now look, I've got an irrational plus an irrational, and that equals a rational. So what do we say for this? Well, because it happens in both cases, and I can add two irrationals to get an irrational, or I can add two irrationals to get a rational, we would say that this is sometimes true. All right, let's do another example. The product of a rational and an irrational number is 0. Well, let's try it. Let's take our rational number 5 and our irrational number square root of 2. What happens when we multiply them together? We get 5 square root of 2. So this is a rational times an irrational. What is the result? Irrational. Is that what we were going for? No, we were going for 0. So let's try this again. But this time, let's say our rational number is 0 times the square root of 2, which is an irrational number. And what's it result in? 0. Look, we've got a rational times an irrational gives me 0, just like it said here. So, because I was able to do a rational times an irrational and get an I and a 0, what does that mean? It means that this is sometimes true. All right, let's try the last one. The sum of two rational numbers is rational. So like 5 plus 2, and that's 7. So I have a rational plus a rational, and that gives me a rational. All right, can we think of any case where we can add two rational numbers together and it gives me something that is not rational? No, that's impossible, because this will always be true.